Hello everyone, welcome to this video of running DeepSeek-R1 model locally. So why do we want to use a DeepSeek? Because it is a model which easily outperforms the OpenAI model, that is a ChatGPT O1 model. So as it is a research based model, it has some thinking process, and even though the DeepSeek R1 is being developed at very low cost, it is performing very well. So that is why we are right now very much interested in a DeepSeek. But there is a concern, that is a security concern, whether we want our data to send to the China. So we can ask same thing to the DeepSeek itself. So we can go to a deepseek.com and you can have a conversation by clicking start now. Here we are going to ask, is my data sent to China when I use DeepSeek? When I ask this question to a DeepSeek itself, let's see what its response. So hi, I am DeepSeek V3, an official intelligent assistant created by DeepSeek for a comprehensive detail about a model and product. So it is not directly providing an answer. So now we will ask same thing to DeepThink. So DeepThink is just nothing but a R1 model, and initially the answer is provided by DeepSeek V3. So we will ask same question now to a R1 model, and let's see what response it give us. So basically the R1 model has a thinking process. As it is a research based model, it has some thinking process, and after completion of a thinking, it is going to provide us a response. So we will see what the response it actually give. And another major drawback of using this DeepSeek R1 on their server itself, that as it is been crowded by many people throughout all over the world, we get this response: the server is busy, please try again later. So I will just read the previous response which I have used. So it is giving us the all the policy. Instead of giving the answer in yes and no, it gives the company background, privacy policy, data compliance, and also it is providing us a recommendation. For sensitive tasks, avoid inputting a personal, confidential and proprietary information. So we can easily say that it is not that much safe. Also you can see it, this is one of the reel provided by or uploaded by a David. So where he can easily show the data is been sending to China, Beijing, and a company. This company is nothing but a Alibaba cloud company. So anyway, your data is going to China and their own company. So whether our data is safe or not, so even if we consider using a ChatGPT and etc., our data is going to China, USA itself. But the company DeepSeek has some major problems. So this is a Wiz research. So what Wiz research has posted, the Wiz research has discovered a DeepSeek, a publicly accessible ClickHouse database belonging to DeepSeek, exposing the highly sensitive information including a secret keys, plain text chat messages, backend detail and log. So as those data has been clearly exposed, so the main concern is whether it is secure to use a DeepSeek model or not. So that is why if you want to use a DeepSeek, the best way is to run DeepSeek locally, so that your data will be protected. But now how we can run this model locally? So for that I am going to use Ollama. So what is the procedure? Install the Ollama and select and install a model which you are going to use in a Ollama. So Ollama is a platform which allow you to run any particular large language model locally. But basically why we should run it locally, we have already seen it has a if you are having a privacy concern. Also it is easy to use, it is a cost efficient. So if you want to use some API, it is going to charge you. But over here, if you are running it locally, it will be cost efficient. Then there will be no latency reduction. So as it is running locally, we don't have to rely on the internet connectivity. So latency issue will be reduced. And last one is a customization. So if it is running locally, it provides a lot of customization and you can use the model the way you want. So these are the various benefits of running the LLM model locally. So now we are going to see why I choose a Llama model. So this Ollama is a open source software, so you can have all source codes available to of Ollama present on a GitHub. And also it provides you a various options, that is such as a key feature as model management. You can choose which model you want to download and manage it differently and test it. Second, it provide unified interface, means you can use a various models with common set of commands, so you don't have to learn something new to test out some different model. Third one is its extensibility. So it provide you a additional customization and extension can be done on a model itself. And the last one is a performance optimization. So we can use our GPU or we can have a higher processing capacity being available locally, so you can optimize its performance. So that is why I am selecting Ollama right now to give you a demonstration how to run large language model DeepSeek-R1 locally. So before proceeding, I would like to show there are various ways by which we can interact with a large language model. The first one is a CLI thing, that is a command line interface. Second one is a UI, user interface, and third one is a API. So initially we are going to focus on a command line interface. So to use this, we are going to go on a Ollama website. So you have to click on ollama.com, where you can simply download the model. So as per your OS, you can select it, either you want it for Mac, Linux or Windows OS. If you are using it for a Linux, you will give a simple command. If you are having a Windows or Mac OS, the file will be downloaded. So as I am on a Mac OS, I will click here to download. So this will download the Ollama. We have to click on a save. So as I have already downloaded it, I will just open. This is a zip file. You have to double click on it to get it extracted. Now to install this, again double click on Ollama and this will start installing your Ollama into your Mac. Now for a security issue, click on open and move to the application. So now our Ollama has been installed and you can see over here in a notification panel, the Ollama is shown over here, the option with quit Ollama. Now this Ollama we can easily access with the help of command line, or we can say it as from a terminal. So I am going to open over here a terminal where we have to write a command. So which command? We have to select a model which we want to run on a Ollama software. So we will just go to the model tab, and in model the highest which is having a very high popularity is nothing but DeepSeek-R1. So we will select this model, and in this model there are various options. You can see over here 1.5 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion, 14, 32, 70 and 671 billion. These are the parameters in which the model is been designed. So the original model has a 671 billion parameter, but it required a very huge processing power to run this model. So that is why what we do, we are going to do a distilled version of a same model. So what basically distilled version is? The distilled version is a trimmed down version of a same model which use a computationally lower power. So we are going to right now use DeepSeek-R1 distilled Quen model, that is 1.5 billion, and for that you have to copy this command. Go to your terminal, and in terminal you have to paste it. So Ollama run DeepSeek-R1 1.5 billion. Click on run. So meanwhile it is getting installed, I am going to show you some hardware requirement. So basically if you are using a different model, this is the hardware requirement you should have. So if you are running 1.5 billion model, you should have a 3.5 GB of RAM available with you. If you are using 7 billion, it requires 16 GB RAM. and if you are using a big model such as 70 billion model, you will require 161 GB of a RAM. And for running actual model, that is a 671 billion model, you will require 1342 GB of RAM approximately. So depending on what is the capability of your hardware, you can choose which model you want to install, and you can easily make an interpretation. Higher is the number of parameters, higher will be your performance, and lower will be the number of parameter, lower will be your performance. So we will just come back to this terminal where it is still being downloaded. You can see over here the model is of size 1.1 GB. Now you can see over here our model is been downloaded and it is been verified, and it has given us a prompt that we can now type a message. So we can right now we can send a prompt to DeepSeek-R1 locally. So I will again write, what is advantages of using DeepSeek-R1. So now it has started a thinking process. It is written as a think. For a start of thinking process, it will again end with think, and then it will provide us a actual response. And you can also read over here how the model is thinking and how it is going to explain. So which is also useful to approach some problems. So this is basically 1.5 billion model, and the processor on which I am running it is a Mac M1 and having a 8 GB of RAM. So you can see over here the 1.5 billion model is working very perfectly, and now here the thinking process has ended, and we can see over here what is a response been provided by the DeepSeek-R1. So in this way you can use any particular model. Now if you want some another things to be given, we can simply press the hash, we can simply press slash, and we can write a help. So basically using this help we can set, show, load, save, clear and buy for the exit. So if we want to show the model information, we can simply write show info. So this will show you a information about the architecture. So architecture, it is using a Qwen 2. So why Qwen 2? Because we are using a quantized model which is having a parameter 1.8 billion. The next thing is a context length. So what is a context length? So context length is basically how large document it can handle. It is given over here. So larger the context length, better our model is. But again, it is a trade-off between performance and the computational power. Next thing is a embedding length. So embedding length is nothing but a dimension of a vector which it is using. And last one is a quantization. So basically the quantization reduces the size of your model. So this is a Q4 model, that is, it is been quantized to the 4-bit model. And if you want to ask any another prompt, you can simply ask it. If you want to start a new conversation, you have to write clear. So you will create a new session, means your answer will not be linked to the previous chat which you are having. So we can write something else. What is the population of world? So as per the latest data available is June 2024, and it is showing I don't have any real-time data to access. So this is the response is been provided. So if you want to quit it, you can simply write as a #by. And now we have been back to our command prompt. And if you want to install some another model, what you want to do, you have to just go and choose some another model which you want to use. So if you want to use a Llama 3.3, so that also you can simply use. You have to select how many billion model you require. You can go to the view all or scroll down to see which are the smallest model which are available. So you can simply go to the view all and you have to choose a quantized model. So these are all 70 billion model. So if you are having that much capability available, then you can use that model or simply go back and find out some another model. So next thing which we are going to see over here, that we have seen this first thing, how to access it in a command line interface manner. The second thing we are going to see in this video is nothing but a user interface. And for accessing a user interface, Ollama itself provides some particular options. So for that you have to go to the GitHub, and in GitHub repository you have to move down. There you will find an option that is nothing but a community and integration. And from this, right now I am going to select the first one, that is a open web UI. So you have to open it and again scroll down for the installation instruction. So where the installation instruction is given over here, pip install open-webui. So this command I am going to copy. One more instruction is given over here, that Python version should be 3.11. So again I will go to the terminal. I will write what is the Python version. So Python 3 version. So this version is 3.11.11. So it will definitely work. So now I am going to simply paste this command and hit a enter button. So it will start downloading most of the things. So as most of the things are already installed, it takes very less time. The next thing we are going to use a open web UI server. So copy this command and again run it. So it will start executing and it will give you a website from which you can easily access the user interface, which looks very similar to the ChatGPT. Now, so you can see over here, it has given me a link. So I just have to copy this link, go to a browser and just enter it over here. So I am writing it over here. So here we can see that directly the DeepSeek R1 1.5 billion model is selected. So if you are having more model already installed, you can select those model, or you can go to the again terminal, use the command which you want to install, select a model from over here. So if you want a Llama 3.2 model, go to the Llama 3.2 and use any particular small model you want. So if you want a 3 billion model, you can simply use this. If you want 1 billion model, you can use 1 billion. You have to copy this command and run it in your terminal. Now we will see how we can use this user interface. So as you can see, it is running locally. We can simply ask the conversation here. So what is DeepSeek-R1? So it has started providing me a response. DeepSeek-R1 is a large language model developed by DeepSeek. It excels in various tasks such as text understanding, comprehension, generation and processing of a structured data. So in such a way, if you want to start a new conversation, you can simply go on plus. You can upload some images etc. over here, and if you simply want a new chat, click on new chat and it will start fresh. So I hope this video has been clear to you and you will able to run all the system locally, either through a web UI or through a command line interface. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me in a comment section. So thank you for watching this video.